Today we're inaugurating a sculpture by the Argentinian-born, London-based artist Amalia Pica. It's called Now Speak. It's a cast concrete lectern that's a platform for the public's voice and for invited speakers today. Most of them are addressing civil rights issues through their speeches, which they've chosen from history. The only requirement of the piece is that the speaker must choose a speech by somebody who has different physical characteristics from them. That way there's an element of displacement and interpretation of history over time.
And it's fitting today to be standing here at the Museum of Fine Arts on a day where Dr. Martin Luther King in some ways was an artist in his words and what his words were and what he was fought for what he dedicated his life to making sure that equality and justice for all. And when you think about in the 50s and 60s when Dr. King was talking about and fighting for the struggles of people, he wasn't fighting for them because of the color of their skin. He wasn't fighting for them for where they came from. He was fighting for equality for all people.
Martin Luther King says, "Always be sure you struggle with Christian methods and Christian weapons. Never succumb to the temptation of becoming bitter. As you press on for justice, be sure to move with dignity and discipline, using only the weapon of love. Let no man pull you so low as to hate him. Always avoid violence. If you succumb to the temptation of using violence in your struggle, unborn generations will be the recipients of a long and desolate night of bitterness."
I've met working parents in Denmark who talk about the comfort they feel in knowing that their children can be cared for in safe and nurturing after-school centers. I've met women in South Africa who helped lead the struggle to end apartheid and are now helping to build a new democracy. I've met with the leading women of my own hemisphere who are working every day to promote literacy and better health care for children in their countries. I've met women in India and Bangladesh who are taking out small loans to buy milk cows or rickshaws or thread in order to create a livelihood for themselves and their families.
From ostracism, discrimination, and abuse, to forced conversion, torture, and even murder. The perpetrators range from states to militant groups, and even to a person's own family. And there are countless causes: turf wars, social unrest, and corruption.
I come here today because I had heard this place was a place whose name represents a belief in old traditions and values, a hatred of unnecessary ferment and agitation, a respect for morality and religion, admiration for traditional forms of education, and the tribute of Yale and Harvard. I am glad at Berkeley, and I am glad to be here with you. For I am sympathetic, and I welcome the passionate concern with the condition and future of the American nation, which can be found on this campus.
These were strong people whose faces I knew from the shop, the streets, meetings, and people who I never saw before, but I knew. They were strong, but even they needed hope. And the young gay people in Altoona, Pennsylvania's, and the Richmond, Minnesota's, who are coming out and hear Anita Bryant on television and her story, the only thing they have to look forward to is hope.
We dare not forget today that we are heirs of the first revolution. Let the word go forth at this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans. And in unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of these human rights to which this nation has been committed, and to which are committed today at the home and around the world.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.